stress better than us college students, as we're moving out of our parents' household and gaining new adulthood responsibilities. And all the while, we're trying to achieve the career of our dreams. Yes, we're pretty stressed. Actually, according to US Census in 2011, 71% of the 19.7 million college students in America were workers. Let's show a raise of hands. How many of us in here are currently going to school and working? How many of us have little ones that we need to watch? Or how many of you guys are actually taking more than one class? Exactly, and then they wonder why we're so stressed. For years, researchers and doctors have proposed alternatives to help decrease our stress, such as going on more vacations, eating healthier, exercising more, and even prescribing us medications. But let's be realistic. None of these options are economically possible or possible because of our diminished time and energy levels. So what's the answer here? Yoga. This 5,000-year-old practice has scientists dumbfounded for the many benefits it proposes to those who practice it. What makes yoga such an interesting center of attention is its history and the fact that it helps connect both the mind and the body. Researchers have found correlating data that supports yoga to be beneficial in decreasing stress among college students, as well as increasing levels of empowerment. Not just this, but for everyone, it helps increase our health and decrease conditions such as cardiovascular disease and asthma. Princeton Press, in their article, Yoga: Brief History of an Idea, written by David White, talks about how every year 6 million Americans are practicing yoga within the United States. So many of us, when we think of yoga, we think of cute pants and stretching, going to talk to our girlfriends. But see, there's a disconnect with what we believe yoga to be and what yoga actually is. Yoga isn't only exercising or talking and stretching, but it's connecting the mind and the body and being balanced and meditating. It's not this icon of something easy that we perceive it to be. According to Medical News Today, this 5,000-year-old practice originated from India. And the word yoga actually originates from the Sanskrit root yogi, which means yoke, to yoke, or to join together, hence the joining of the mind and the body. Yoga is also thought to be the tree of life, in which it has 6 different branches. Each of these branches symbolizes a certain aspect of our life, in which it's thought to be that energy is flowing from us through each of these branches. When we start to feel stress or anxiety, it means that energy isn't flowing right through one of these branches, and that's when yoga comes in to help us restore that balance. These branches include the physical and mental, the devotion to our community, our ritual practice, our belief system, meditation, and our path of service. After reviewing this information, I must admit I was completely hooked. As a college student myself, full-time as a matter of fact, I know what being stressed feels like, which is why this following peer-reviewed article written by Vanessa Viate, Yoga for College Students, was so intriguing to me. Within her study, she researched the effects of going to yoga classes had on college students. And what she found, and I quote, is students enrolled in the class reported increased levels of relaxation, perspective of their lives, and a more focus and feeling of empowerment. How many of us in here just wish that all of this stress could just melt away? I know I sure do. And what Viate's research study showed that yoga was much more than exercising and posing and holding still for long periods of time. It's actually a source that many of us college students can turn for in order to have feeling of controls over our thoughts and our life, which is what we need for school, really. Yes, we all know mental health is important to be centered and know what's going on, but what many college students are looking for in today's date is also physical health, which of course is kind of impossible if you keep in mind our limited schedules and our limited times. It's hard to find the hours to upkeep and uphold our physical health. According to Dr. Helen in her article called Health Benefits and Research, She talked about how yoga is perceived and is thought to be, by many doctors and researchers, to be both safe and an effective source of exercise. Yoga helps in increasing strength, flexibility, and balance. Dr. Helen also explains within this article that yoga, by those who practice it, has been found to actually increase health and help with severe conditions such as asthma, cardiovascular disease, as well as depression, which according to Healthline, every 1 in 10 Americans suffers from. So all of these research studies come together and are showing us that there is actually both a physical and psychological difference in people who are practicing yoga and those who are not. What are these differences? Increased health and decreased stress. Like I said, us college students are the perfect example of what it means to be stressed out all the time. And although many of us are skeptical about yoga, yoga has been found to decrease stress levels among college students and increase our sense of empowerment, which actually within Vanessa Villate's research paper showed this helped and benefited students in being more academically successful within their careers and studies. Not just this, but doctors such as Dr. Helen and their research data collected shows a correlation between yoga and increasing our actual physical health. Yoga is different from what we perceive when we think of exercising. It's not the same. Yoga exercises the mind and exercises the body all at the same time. I would like to conclude my presentation with this quote derived from the Bhagavad Gita. It's a 700-verse Hindu scripture, and it says, "Yoga is the journey of the self, through the self, to the self." Thank you for your time.